Our dad's name is Greg Zawisza, very Polish name. One of my favorite memories is when I was about 9 years old, Jenn was 5, it was Christmas time, and there had been a big snow on Christmas Eve, and we woke up in the morning and discovered that Santa had arrived in the backyard. So there were sleigh tracks and hoof tracks all over our backyard, and Jenn and I were absolutely convinced that Santa existed. And it wasn't until a few years later when we realized that he had made the tracks himself by putting down 2x4s and walking on garden hose through our yard.
I love remembering my dad for his love of road trips and his tradition. Right before we left, literally 2 minutes, he'd have to vacuum the whole house. I don't know if it was a calming thing for him, but he believed that you should have a freshly vacuumed carpet when you arrive home from your trip.
So I was a sophomore in college. It was August of 2000. I was 19 years old, and I was about ready to go to a football game, and I got a call from my mom and dad, and they just said, well, we just want to let you know that Dad had found a lump under his armpit, and we got it checked out, and it is cancer, but we want you to know that we're going to get it treated. It's a very survivable form of cancer. I don't want you to worry.
The thing that I remember was when he did get his actual cancer diagnosis, which was at the time non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. He was very positive about it, and he tried his very best to not make Gwyn or me worry about it, and that his doctors were going to do everything they could to take care of it for sure.
It was such a shock to the system and such a fast process. So he was 49 when he was diagnosed in August of 2000, and unfortunately, he was one of the few that didn't respond to treatment, so it was 6 months later that he passed away on March 11th, 2001. He was 49 years old.
That piece of you never leaves. That little bit of sadness doesn't leave.
Immediately after a loved one passes, everything hurts. Everything is sad, everything is, you regret things that you didn't say to that person. But I feel like as time passes on, every time we talk about Dad, it's funny stories now. It's not
lighthearted.
Yeah, so every time we tell a story, everyone's laughing, everyone is remembering. And so I think that's an interesting thing about grief, is that when you're in that moment and when even when he was sick, everything was awful and horrible. But as time has passed on, we've been able to kind of leave that by the wayside and remember the good things.
I have so much respect for our mom. She was very strong throughout it and tried very hard to be a mother and a father. She was there for my very first date in high school, and she called one of our really good family friends over who was a 200-pound plus muscular guy in order to intimidate him. So my mom had to get creative in certain ways where our dad would have done the part, if you will.
I do know folks now who have been impacted by leukemia and lymphoma, and the LLS has really helped them with resources and support groups and helping them understand what research is available.
It's very therapeutic for us to be able to connect with LLS, and I receive the newsletters and my emails knowing that there's so many people behind this society and are doing whatever they can to get funding, to get research done, to get new treatments. I know for me is extremely therapeutic.
They have a lot of different channels for people to get involved, even folks who haven't been impacted by blood cancers. Meggie is a perfect example of someone who was touched by the cause and kind of answered the rally cry and got a lot of people involved who may not have been associated with LLS. So I think they're doing a really great job of offering opportunities for people to get involved and make a difference. Jenn and I would just like to say, please consider donating, and we appreciate your support.